Welcome friends, it's a beautiful morning here in Valheim. And today I'm going to go through 42 tips and tricks for your gameplay. Maybe you know some of them, maybe you know all of them. But I've been trying to cram in a bunch of them that actually took me quite a long time to actually figure out when I was starting to play. And if you know me, you know that I actually make kind of long videos. So I'm going to try to be snappy when I go through this. So if you miss one or what I did, just scroll back a little bit and rewind and watch it again. So let's start with number one. ctrl-F3 will allow you to show and hide the HUD, which is actually a really good way if you want to make screenshots. Number two, tired of just moving things slowly one by one from your inventory to your chest? Don't. Just hold control and left click and you basically bump things back and forth here, which is really convenient. Number three, if you want to tear down a building, don't do it with using your axe. Just use a hammer, put down a workbench, and then middle button click and you'll be able to tear things down in no time. This works on your own buildings and also works on things that someone has built before, meaning it was in the game when it was rendered. See how fast and easy this is? It does take some stamina, but it's definitely much faster than chopping away. And it's actually a lot faster than going out to chop trees to get wood. Number four, if you want to transport a lot of things, make sure you make a cart, because it gives you a lot of extra weight and a lot of extra inventory that you can put in. Or if you have a ship, it also has 4 for the basic cargo and I believe 18 for the long ship. Very convenient. Portals are super useful. Wherever you go adventuring, I would definitely urge you to make sure you have enough resources to just build a portal wherever you go, because all you need to do, plop it down, type in whatever tag you have at home, and you'll be able to actually just go back through it and go back to your base and drop off whatever you have without having to drop things back. Of course, it doesn't work if you're using metals, but hey, everything else works. Tip number 6, learn to block. Just right click and you see there I blocked and I didn't take a lot of damage. Let me block again, a little bit of damage compared to would probably be killed if I actually wasn't blocking. So make sure you have a shield block. It's going to drain some of the stamina, but it's going to keep you alive even against the troll. Also, learn to parry. If you parry and you do that, time it properly, you'll deal extra damage. Basically right before the hit, make sure you try to do that block, or parry rather, and you'll do normally up to 2 times the amount of damage. Really effective when you're fighting various mobs. Of course, you could block, however that doesn't give you the extra damage bonus. And you can see there on the shield, for instance, it says block power 45, so you can block up to 45. Parry force is 30, but gives you a parry bonus of 2x. Really good for damaging the enemies. Tip number 8, make sure you get started on your farming. It's fairly easy. Get your boars, get your carrots for carrot soup, and get your beehives for honey. It really is going to help you out if you start this early on and just stock up on all these resources. Number 9, co-op is really fun in the game. Make sure you tick in this visible to players. In the latest patch, it actually has updated so it will remember your choice. You don't have to continually go into the map and then tick it in. And of course you go to the map with M. Farming queen bees is really simple. If you have it, you find it, just shoot them a couple times with an arrow and normally that will bring it down. A slightly simpler way is simply to put down a workbench and just destroy everything around it so that it actually doesn't have anywhere to hang on to. And let's do that, and you see, drop down and I got the queen bee. Very simple. You definitely want a lot more of the queen bees. Tip number 11, repairing is free. Just go back to the workbench type that you actually crafted it at, let's say forge for bronze things, and repair. Doesn't cost anything, so make sure everything is in tip-top shape before you go out adventuring. Early on, this Stagbreaker is really good. Need some core wood, deer trophy, and leather scraps. And why is it nice? Well, of course, because the area of effect. It is slow, but it means you can actually even hit through doors in crypts, for instance, which is really convenient. Tip number 13. Do you know you can put more than one cooker station per campfire? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think people have actually been able to put 6 and actually on top of each other. So you can put a lot of them in there. Not that you necessarily want to, but it saves you having multiple campfires if you don't want that. Tip 14. Looking to split items, just hold shift, left click, and it'll tell you how much you want to take. Let's take 8, put them inside. Much easier. Fighting trolls and other things, consider having your arrow types on your hotbar because it allows you to switch between them really easily. Just hit whichever arrow type you want to have, which means that you can, for instance, set them on fire, even though he ran away, switch to your regular armor type and use that one, shoot a few times, then you go back to your arrows, or fire arrows rather, and set them on fire again. Even though he actually ran away. Number 16, right click to eat. Just hover over the food, right click. I'm sure you knew about that one already. Tip number 17. If you can make all the trees fall down on each other, you can actually roll them over each other as well. You can actually cause them to just keep on felling more trees, which will save you a lot of time just chopping them down because they damage each other as they fall down. So chop down a few of them. Hopefully you manage to get them to roll down on something else, and then that will actually damage the next one and the next one. You can actually fell a bunch of them at the same time if you're lucky. Number 18, you can eat 3 types of food at the same time. And how do you determine what you want to eat? Well, hover over it. It will tell you how much health it gives, how much stamina, the duration, and the healing. So some things are obviously going to be better than others, have a longer duration, and it's up to you to balance it. You can actually double, triple, and quadruple stack your chest if you really want to. Just make sure that you have something like a divider like that. That is enough to actually allow you to place yet another chest on top of it, which basically gives you a lot more space. Sometimes you do have to get up a little bit higher just to make sure you can place it up. See, now I have 3 stacked. Now you can of course go a lot higher. It will save you a lot of space. Number 20, you can't actually place campfires on the floor. However, you can actually destroy the floor, plant down the campfire, and then you rebuild the floor. If I just have the resources, of course. There you go. Tip 21, halfway there. Use the hammer to check how the integrity of your building is. Blue is the furthest down, then it goes to green, then it goes to yellow, and then it goes to red, and then it goes to eventually it's going to be falling down. So yeah, this one is not looking very good. Take this one out and everything else should be falling. Tip number 22, weather will actually damage some of your buildings if they're exposed. Look at the thatched roof here, no problem, but look at these beams. These ones have taken a lot of rain and weather damage. Even though of course it's fairly easy to just repair them if you want to. Left click, don't middle click because you'll destroy it. Of course it's annoying to have to do that. So put a roof on, don't let them be exposed, then you won't have this problem. Want to make things look cool outside? You can actually craft like these wood stacks or these rock piles. They look pretty cool. They do take some weather damage though, so you do have to repair them if you want to keep them tip-top shape, but they're pretty good. And when you want to get the resource back, just demolish it and you should be getting the resources back. However, in general, put things in your chest because it saves you a lot of space, because you can put in something like 50 times 10, meaning 500 wood, and it's in small little chests versus being outside in a wood pile, which basically is quite a big one, but it looks nice. Tip 24, the map is useful. Of course, as usual, double click and you'll actually set the marker. You can type in the name of it. If you left click it after that, you put a cross on it. And if you right click, you'll remove it. You can actually change the marker type as well. Playing with your friends, hit middle mouse button and you'll place a ping that your friends can actually see. 26. Copper can be a real pain to get. Make sure you actually mine around the area as well. So this is a copper pile, but take out the area around it because often there's a lot of copper below ground as well that might be covered by the dirt. So you can uncover that by simply whacking the ground and get more copper that way. 27. A torch is good for more than just light. Look at them. These greylings and greydwarves are really afraid of it, so they will generally not be hitting you in melee. They might, however, be pelting you with rocks. So yeah, they're not going to leave you alone, but they're not going to go up to you too close at least. They walk up, look at this, but they're not actually bashing me. Useful. Put it away and see if they overcome their fear. Yep, there they are. Alright, I better run away. Oh, bring out my torch. Ooh. Bränn Bränn Bränn. Tip 28. The stone axe is really useful early on. However, even better is the flint axe. The flint axe does require the workbench to craft, but it only requires a little bit of flint, a little bit of wood, and it's quite a bit better, about 25% better than the stone axe. So definitely go for that one early on if you can. Tip number 29. Tired of rubbish? Unfortunately, there's no easy way to recycle it. Just go away from your workbench and just drop it, and it will despawn after a while. But if you have a workbench, unfortunately, it will not. So make sure you take them out as well. Dropping them somewhere in the deep ocean is one of the good ways because it won't even annoy you until they have despawned. But they do eventually. Tip number 30. Finding yourself stuck on your raft or your ship going against the wind? It can be such a pain. Easy enough. Just hit W once and you will be using your paddle, as you can see over on this side, that will move you forward slowly. It's definitely more tedious than using the sails, but hey, if you're going against the wind, what do you expect? Looking for core wood? Unfortunately, you have to go to the Black Forest because you have to chop down these pines. And of course, make sure you avoid the trolls that are around. few whacks, and you end up getting some, oh, attacked, unfortunately. Let's see if I can kill them before they kill me. There you go. Then you continue chopping those ones. Oh, did I get any of the core wood? No, that was regular wood. And eventually you end up with some core wood as well. What about fine wood? Well, you can chop down the oaks, even though they're beautiful. That'll give you some fine wood as well. Like that. Or you chop down the birch wood that is fairly common in the forest. Even more fine wood. And of course, make sure you replant those seedlings. Number 33, remember you can actually die if you get hit in the head with a tree. Of course, the good news is that you can actually kill your enemies with them as well. It is a bit tricky, but it does work. Oh, greyling. 35, being cold really sucks. It reduces health and stamina regen. How do you check that? Well, you go to your compendium and you'll see cold, lower health and stamina regeneration, health minus 50, and stamina minus 25%. Ooh, not good. As if that wasn't good enough, being wet doesn't help either. You see, wet lowers my health and stamina regeneration, minus 25%, minus 15%. Not really good. And of course, resistance versus fire, weak versus frost, and weak versus lightning. Yeah, be careful about being wet. Of course, number 37. Being rested really helps with the stamina and health recuperation as well. So make sure you get rested, sleep in that bed, and you'll see you're currently resting, health regen, plus 200% stamina, 300%. It will run out though, as it says 12, and it depends on the comfort level of your house. Higher comfort level will keep you rested longer. Number 38. You can normally outrun most of the enemies in the game, even these trolls. So just make sure you conserve your stamina a little bit, run a little bit, keep a track of where they are, try to get them stuck behind various trees and obstacles, and keep running. Don't try to jump too much because it also depletes your stamina. And normally when you slow down, you see the stamina goes up, and then just keep on running and you will outrun pretty much everything in the game, except maybe the boars. Oh, those suck. If you're wondering, yes, you can actually sneak up on enemies and there you go, assassinate them, because you actually get a damage bonus on the sword and a lot of weapons. You get 3 extra damage. It can be really helpful in killing them fast. And of course, it looks kind of cool sneaking around like that. Tip number 40, the map is really big. Make sure you pace yourself and enjoying. You are not going to be exploring this in a week, and nor would you want to. Want to see how big? Well, I'm going to show you. If you don't want, just close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to zoom out here. Look at all this. I'm somewhere here, and there's all of this. And not all of this is actually fleshed out by Iron Gate yet. There's going to be more content coming. So yeah, take your time. Number 41, there are many ways to cheat. I made a couple of videos of how you duplicate things, and you can, of course, if you're in single player, you can spawn things in. You can move your characters in other worlds to find traders and get resources and transfer everything. It's your game, it's your fun. Play it the way you want to. Just be careful, it's easy to cheapen things to the point that it's no longer interesting. You decide where your limit is, don't listen to others. It's your game, enjoy your sandbox. Tip number 42, you cannot actually reach Yggrdrasil no matter how much you cheat. Actually, no, that's actually not the tip. Tip 42 is going to be a shameless plug. Do check out my playlist in the top of the description for even more Valheim videos. If you're still here, you're really amazing, and I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I am. I'm sure there are a bunch of other tips that are helpful in the game, so put your best tip in the comment section and maybe teach me and others something that you know. Of course, leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I'll catch you again next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.